It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. And welcome to the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on the two-board screen. I like to get on here and give my unique perspective because after 48 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective of these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and I'd like to get into about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Dallas, Texas. Got some plays over in Dallas this past week. Gracias, gratitude, todo rabá. And Dallas, a couple days ago, your Dallas Cowboys beat my Detroit Lions because I'm up in here in Michigan and our NFL team is the Lions, and you guys, the Dallas Cowboys, beat our Lions. You suck. No, you guys don't suck. You know what happens? Sometimes you beat us, sometimes we beat you. All good. You guys are still awesome. I appreciate you listening. Guys, it's gratitude. And just FYI, back in the day with school radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the energy. If I would have had just a little bit more energy, then maybe that would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't. That's what allowed me to become the greatest podcast in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true, but I said it on the internet, so it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix. Days, months, hours, minutes, microseconds. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're lying, just watch out. Anybody's gonna ramble here all day, but it won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I rap. And a few months back, I rapped again. I rapped on the track called Exotic Optic by Sunzu Cosmic. It's me and Sunzu Cosmic dropping our raps and rhymes, rhyming only the way we can. So if you want to hear some interesting, unique hip-hop, check out the track called Exotic Optic. I'll put the link below. Now, let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in 2024. 23 is over. It's done. It's a wrap. No more 23, bro. It'll never come again. You'll never see a 23 again unless you're very young. You may see one. But I ain't gonna see it. I'll be dead. But anyways, 23 is over. It's a wrap. And now we in 24. Right? A couple days into it. What are you gonna do? How are you going to move in 24? Are you going to change your life in 24? Maybe 23 wasn't that good for you. Maybe it sucked. It's possible. Well, let's make 24 better. The future is bright. So I got shades on, bro. I hope yours is bright too. Make it bright. Wear shades. Your future is bright. So yeah, we just started off month 1 of 24. 11 more to go. So are you ready to change your life? Well, let's do it. And we're going to do that through the vehicle of movies, TV, sports, and flicks. With this podcast, because this podcast is all about expanding minds. And this week, I got to see more mind-expanding cinema on the tube. I was over at Apple TV Plus, and I got to see the movie called The Family Plan, starring Mark Wahlberg. You know that guy? Yeah, the underwear model. Yeah, I got to see that movie. And the movie was very good. I enjoyed it. Very fun, enjoyable. Now, before I get into that, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in Apple. I just want to be clear and transparent to let you know. Now that I told you that, let's get into The Family Plan. Ladies and gentlemen, the movie was a very fun ride. It was a nice 2 hours to shut off my mind, watch some comedic type action, where we see Mark Wahlberg playing Dan Morgan. Just a mild-mannered guy, car salesman, living a family suburban life, got kids and a wife, selling cars, just an average life. That's all he's doing. That's it. But he's got a past that's catching up with him. Because back in the day, before Dan Morgan became Dan Morgan, and before he sold cars, he used to do some things that were just not the greatest things to be doing. He played in a world of shadows. He dealt with shady stuff. He did things that probably a lot of human beings don't do. He was an assassin. Yeah, he was. He was an assassin, bro. And he got mixed up with some bad things. But that was all left behind. But unfortunately, it caught up with him. His past caught up with him. And he had to take his family from the city they live in and travel across the country to get away from that trouble. And that's what the movie's about. It's a very fun movie. You get to see what happens when a former assassin goes on the run with his kids and doesn't tell his kids about what's going on. He doesn't tell them till way later in the movie. They're just driving around, avoiding all these assassins and bad guys, and he ain't telling them nothing. He's just trying to avoid it as much as possible in a very comedic, action-packed way. So yeah, very cool movie, very enjoyable. Nice to just turn my brain off and enjoy some like popcorn type flick. But what I'm gonna do now is do what I always do, talk about something I found interesting in the movie. Now, in the movie, the character of Dan Morgan did not reveal to his family, his wife, what he did in the past, right? And even his wife's past, like before he met Dan, was a little bit different than what it is currently, right? They turned a certain way from their past to do different things that really wasn't aligned with their past lives. They almost kind of forgot about the past a little bit, right? And they're having conversation in there like, you know, do you miss the old self? Do you miss how you used to be? And Dan Morgan's like, yeah, you know, that was then, but I'm this now. You know, he's still in there, but I'm this now, bro. You know, it's just two different vibes, bro. That was good for its time, but now I'm here, and I'm here, and I like this. And he kind of turned into just a mild-mannered, boring type dude. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I can really relate with that, because in my younger days, I lived slightly different, took more gambles, took more chances, was just out there more. And now, bro, very routine and pattern, kind of boring guy. You might not be able to tell about the podcast, but it's true. It is. Maybe I need a little more excitement. And in the movie, he gets into excitement of his past catching up with him, fighting bad guys. And he gets that vibe back, like, oh, I missed this, right? Because sometimes you may be one way in the past, a certain way, and you don't think it's the best way to be. And you take a complete 180 away from that. I've done that. I'm a complete 180 away from where I used to be. And after thinking about it for many years, I'm like, I want to get some of that old Che back. Just a little bit. We ain't gonna go do all the way back, but let's get a little bit of that old Che, that younger self. There were some things my younger self did that I don't do currently that I could use right now. I'm completely aware of that. I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed of that. And in the movie, Dan Morgan finds that out himself. And even his wife finds that out. You know, his wife's a certain way doing certain things. And she figures out, oh, I kind of miss those old days when I used to do this, take chances and live a little and be spontaneous. Because as we get older, we get a little less spontaneous. Not everybody, but a lot of us do. Nice, comfortable routines and patterns. Never stepping out of comfort zones. Never taking chances. Never taking gambles. It's not safe to take a chance. It's not safe to take a gamble. We got too much to lose, bro. As you get older, you might fall into that rut. I'll be honest. I kind of have. But I've been taking steps the last few years to step outside of that comfort, get a little discomfort, break out of that. And in the movie, we get to see that. Because at the end of the movie, when they resolved and they got away from the old life and they took care of the bad guys, they kind of shift their life into a new direction and incorporate some of the old stuff with the new stuff to get a new, more fulfilling lifestyle. Yeah. So, in our real life, maybe you're older. Maybe some of the things back in the day you're trying to step away from, like, those weren't good. Those aren't okay. But not everything about back in the day is bad. There was probably good aspects, good attributes, good character traits you had that you should incorporate now if you've gotten away from them, right? I know a lot of times I'll say to myself, oh, my younger self was just so dumb. And some of the things I did as younger self was dumb. I admit it, but not all, right? The younger self was the one that started rapping and rhyming. When I was like 20, 19, 18, some of that, somewhere in that area, I was putting pen to paper and writing rhymes, bro. The only reason I'm writing rhymes now is because my younger version of myself started doing that. And I've been doing it ever since. I got a picture in the studio space of where I was when I was like 20 years old, I think. And it's my little setup. I got a mixer there. I got a little beat machine. I got notebooks, got floppy disks. If you know what floppy disks are, this floppy disk is what you use for the beat machine. And that was a start. That was a start. That was something my younger self did. That was one of the smooth, coolest, smartest things I did as a young person. And I don't want to forget about that. And I'm sure you are the same way. If you're older, maybe you said, oh, back then I did some dumb things. Oh, so naive, whatever. I heard that from my parents. They told me that. I heard that from other older people. I was so young and naive, I was doing these dumb things. Right? But not everything. There were some good things there. And in the movie, we can see that. In the movie, we see at the resolution that not all was bad. And they pull from the strength of their past, the good things, and they incorporate it to the future to make a more fulfilling good life. And that was the lesson that I got from the family plan. Yeah, that's what I saw. Like I say on these podcasts all the time, I watch these things. I watch these shows. I watch these movies. I watch sports. I watch Instagram. I watch all these things and try to pull life lessons or things we can learn that it can help us expand our mind and enhance our life. So if you've just arrived at this podcast and you've never heard it, this podcast has evolved in a way of looking at movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and just seeing how we can use it to level up, uplift our life, and move us in a direction that's going to empower us and make us benefit and improve us in all aspects of life. Spiritual health, mental health, physical health, financial health. How can we use the lessons of the tube and the screens, everything on tube and screen, computer screens, TV screens, phone screens, streaming services, programs, social media, whatever. How can we use those to level up and shift our life to help us attain the things that we want to achieve and get and have and experience? How do we do that? I'm going to watch movies, TV, sports, and flicks. I'm going to get here. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to see what we can learn. I'm going to share it in the podcast. And hopefully by doing this, we can take our life and shift it in 2024. So by the end of 2024, come back and visit. And we'll keep examining and looking at these things on the screen. And we'll keep doing it, learning the life lessons, learning what we can see, what we can see in these things, seeing what we can find out, seeing what we can figure out from watching these things. Hopefully we can learn some things we can apply to our life. And by the end of 24, we'll be in a better place. Just maybe just a little bit. That is the goal of this podcast, to expand minds through the vehicle of movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and anything you see on the tube or screen, and explore the infinite possibilities of existence. So, ladies and gentlemen, the year has just started. Are you ready to go on this ride with me? Join me. And if you didn't like it, don't like it, it's cool. It's all good. I'm glad you visited, I'm glad you sat by. If this wasn't for you, it's okay. It's not for everybody. But if you like what I'm talking about, stay tuned, because we will go deep down the rabbit hole else. And if you want to hear what I had to say the previous years, kind of the same vibe, bro. The later stuff more so, the earlier stuff not quite as much. The podcast has evolved over the years. But if you want to hear where I began, listen to episode 1. And it's a lot different than it is now. But this podcast is a growth and learning process. And as I learn and grow and walk the path of life, the podcast evolves as well. The podcast is not fixed. The podcast evolves and grows as I learn and grow. So come along on this journey. Start in episode 1. Start now. It doesn't matter. Start anywhere. Start on the things you like, the topics you like. But this podcast is about seeing you in a better position, better place. I want you to grow. I want you to improve. I want you to do well. I am rooting for you. How many people are telling you that? Maybe not a lot. Well, guess what? The captain is telling you that. You might not hear that in your life. I'll tell you what, I don't hear it a lot, to be honest with you. But I don't need it, because I know we're going to do well. But I want you to know out there, I am rooting for you. I want you to win. I want you to succeed. And I hope you achieve everything that you want to have and experience and live and achieve. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. 2024. Let's change our life. And until next time, we'll see. Health is the greatest of all possessions. A pale cobbler is better than a sick king. Jonathan Swift. Until next time, this is Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.